I'm sorry the screen is dark, but I'm pretty sure you can still see me, because I could see me. So, all right. That being said, I'm making this video because I want it to be inspirational to you. Um, I've been reading like every single day, um, except for the last 2 days. The last 2 days I've been putting in a lot of work. I've been putting a lot of effort into something, and it's I'm finally in now. I'm finally in. What I did was, um, I'm in the stock market now. I'm in the stock market. I bought some mutual funds. I bought a stock, and I plan on expanding my investment. So, I mean, I was doing my homework before I even got invested. I didn't just like, okay, I'm gonna invest. I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna do that, buy that. It's like, you know what I mean? Before I even invest, before I even invested, I didn't even know what to even think about, to ask. You know what I mean? So it's like, how I got to that point was through reading. You know, I kept reading the books, and some of the books that helped me get started was Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, you know, it helped me get started. There are books, okay, I'm going to tell you the distinction of books. There's books on motivational, like Think and Grow Rich, basically. It's books that will help you if you don't know what you want to do, if you don't know what you want to be now or in the future. That's where motivational books come into play. And they also are good for the person if the person is following a passion, and that passion is no longer interesting, or the passion starts to dull down. Inspirational books can keep that passion. It can help you keep that passion higher. You know, it could help you keep going, you know, instead of falling off track. You get what I'm saying? So Think and Grow Rich is kind of a book that's like that. And it's basically a book that's like that. And it also has guidelines and instructions. It's a very good book to read. You know, it's a very good book to read. Everybody read it. All great investors and great minds read it. It was written by a great person, Napoleon Hill. And, I mean, he tells you no such fortune can come without the render of service. Okay? So, that goes to show you, like, you need to do something in order for you to obtain riches. In order to attain riches, you need to. Nothing, riches is just going to be like here, you know. Because I mean, look at the lotto, for example. 1 in a million. What are the odds? You know what I mean? So it's like to attain riches, you got to do something. You got to render a service. You got to put in effort to do something. And he tells you basically how to do it. He gives you a step-by-step instruction to get you started, and he tells you to write it down and follow those principles. And I mean, it's like the best. I haven't read the book. I've read like half of the book, and then I just went to another book, because that book basically, it's like a motivational book. You know what I mean? I've like that book. It says, it's telling you a secret. He says, I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you what it is exactly. You know, you will find it in the first chapter just as much as you'll find it in the last chapter. You know, you'll find it in the introduction just as much as you'll find it in the last chapter. And I found it in half of the book, you know. Some people will find it earlier in the first chapter, you know. But I know that when I got halfway into the book, I knew what he was talking about this entire time. And I mean, Think and Grow Rich. It's the title that's so powerful, you know, because it literally is the secret. Think and Grow Rich is the secret, you know. Stimuli, you know, stimulating your mind, thinking your way to financial freedom, you know, is the way, you know, to do it. And I mean, it's crazy. All you got to do is just pick up a book, and read it for a long period of time. Like, you know, when you're going to the gym and you're working out and you're working out, and when you first get there, you're like, you're normal, but then you work out for an hour and you look in the mirror and you look pumped, you're stimulated. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the same thing with your brain when you read. You know, the longer you're reading, you know, it's gonna enable you to think more, expand your mind, progress in your thoughts, you know what I mean? And you'll be able to come up with ideas. That's what that book teaches you, you know, Think and Grow Rich. That book is real good. But I stopped reading it halfway and I went to another book. And the other books I got into were like more like financial books. It talked about like the stock market. It talked about like learning how to read financial statements and things like that. It's really complex, but it's not complex. Only the title scared me until I opened up the book and I was like, I understand every word that this person is saying to me because I am English, you know, and these words are English. You know what I mean? So it's like when I was reading it, I was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, it was blowing my mind, the information that this person was writing, the information that I was reading off the page. It felt like I was reading secrets, you know what I mean? And I have applied those secrets after, you know, reading it over and over and over. Like this book right here, I read it over and over and over and over and over and over. You know, I'm more than 2/3 of the book. This book is written in 3 sections. The first section, second section, and the last section. I've only read the first 2 sections. I'm about to read the last section now. I'm going to start reading the last section now. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I can finish it. It's only about 70 pages. But I'm going to start reading it right now. And the first 2 sections of the book, I forgot what I was going to say about it. But I kept reading them over and over. When I read one chapter, I'd read it over again. Because it like the secret, I wanted to stay in my mind what I just read because it amazed me so much. And, you know, it's like, I know I have the book, but it's like, I can't get enough of what this book is saying. Well, all books that I've read are saying. I can't get enough of it. You know? That's why I want to tell you there are different types of books. Like Think and Grow Rich is a motivational book. And there are other books that give you information. You know? Those are my favorite books that give you information. Because if you're a person who is unfortunate now to travel and go obtain a mentor, you know, and surround yourself around the people that you want to be like, because that is extremely important, you know, in growing. If you take a look at famous people, basketball players, rich people, golfers, they surround themselves around people who they want to be like. I'm not fortunate to do that right now, but soon I will be, and I cannot wait for that day. But until then, I've just been reading the minds. I've just been reading the books of the greatest minds. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they all say to surround yourself among the people you want to be, because those are the guys, those are the people who you pick up from. Those are the people who you tend to adapt to. You know what I mean? So, I mean, scientifically, I mean, that's a fact. I've watched a video about a scientist doing an experiment, taking human cells from 3 different types of substances. One was from bone, another was from skin, and another one was from muscle. He put another type of organism or another type of cell into each of the 3, and they all adapted to its environment. This cell became bone, this cell became skin, this cell became muscle. So, I mean, it only makes sense to surround yourself around the people that you want to be like. You know what I mean? That is one of the most important things you can add to your own life, you know, if you want to grow as a human being. And I mean, it's been written in thousands and thousands of books. It's in thousands of pages. It's in every book that I read. It tells you, you know, follow the people that you want to be like. It doesn't say, be like a bum. You know what I mean? Be around bums. It doesn't say things like that at all. You know, so, I mean, the books that I read, the books that I love to read, are the ones that give a lot of information. Those are my favorite books, because those are the books that teach you things. You know, if you take a look at the author, that person's teaching you something. Through the book, he's written these words to help you and guide you in this category, in this subject, whatever the book is about. You know what I mean? So books can be powerful. You know, just like Napoleon Hill said, or I don't know, I forgot his name. Napoleon Hill, is that his name? I feel like I'm saying like a art, or like a music artist or something, or something like that. But Napoleon Hill said that knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only the potential power. When you retain knowledge, when you learn knowledge, it's only potential power. It is only effective. It's only effective if you put that knowledge to use. Retaining it in your mind and living day to day doesn't mean anything unless you put it to use. That's when it becomes powerful. You know, that book is so inspiring. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's probably one of the greatest books I first ever read. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to read it again, because I have been reading it, you know, but I have other interests that I'm reading in. And don't think that just because I'm reading something else doesn't mean like, oh, I think that like that's a waste of my time reading it. No, not at all. But I know I'm going to pick that book up again if I, you know, so need to. You know what I mean? But I encourage every one of my subscribers to devote your time, because time is limited. You know, you can have all the money in the world, you can buy anything you want, but you cannot buy time. Okay? So spend your time wisely. Learn as much as you can. Use the information that you learn to better your life, because I promise it's going to help you, because this is helping me. It's changing my life. The more I read, the more hours I put into reading, the more knowledge I'm retaining, the more action that I'm taking. You know what I mean? I mean, it just blows my mind. I just bought stocks, you know? I just took 2 days of my life sitting at the computer, researching companies, reading every freaking financial statement that they had for the last 10 years. And I picked the right one. Not based on this person, not based on that person, not based on this person's opinion, not based on that person's opinion, but based on my thoughts on the things that I saw, the things that I absorbed through my mind, what I was looking at on the computer, what I've read from the data that I was seeing. I made my decision, and I'm 100% sure that I made a good decision based off the books that I read, the information, what it told me to look for. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, the best thing, you know, if you want a brighter future, is to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Buy books for yourself. Use those books to follow your principles, to follow good principles, and invest in your life. Invest in money. Invest in your future. Because, like I said before, you cannot buy time. Every second, you know, is gone. You know, so it's best to live now, learn a lot right now, and do now. See you guys later.